Greetings and salutations, everyone, and Merry Christmas. Before we get into today's upload, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. My merch is displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe, click the like button, and please leave a comment. It really does help, and guys, it definitely matters. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with today's upload, shall we? Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Couple things I want to talk to you about. Kind of want to do something different because it is Christmas. So, I guess the first thing that I'd like to talk about is why I chose the field of cryptozoology and why I obsess so much over not just narrating and talking about encounters, but looking into these strange, like, quote unquote animal attacks. When I had my encounter in 1994, what I saw that evening was not like anything imaginable. It was an abomination, to be honest with you. It had a snout. It was very tall. There was multiple of them at different heights in the woods. So to me, that only means that it could be they were quadruped and bipedal. But when I saw it, I realized at that moment that my friends and I, we were in danger and we were being hunted. Years later, I really put together the fact that we were being hunted. And I started to realize, talking to so many people and interviewing people, meeting people, that we were not at all on the top of the food chain. These things were definitely an apex predator with a large amount of intelligence, strength, speed, agility. And I started to look at these attacks, which really put me over the edge. I think the first one was the Brenda Hamilton one, and how it was handled and everything else. And then Corey Godsey. And then a couple after that. And it just really pushed me even further. And there's been encounters that people have shared with me that have rested on my shoulders to get the answers and figure out, hey, what is going on? So, I guess we have so many new subscribers, and I have a cold, so I feel like crap. I woke up this morning like, oh, That's normally I record at night, but it was Christmas Eve and we just got home, so with all the new subscribers, I'm going to share a couple of things. I want to talk about a couple of things, and I want to get a lot of feedback. So, in 1994, my friends and I were hanging out. I'll never forget a detail of that evening. It was my girlfriend, my friend's girlfriend, and the driver. There was 5 of us. We were in a Caprice Classic, like 1990 something, big land yacht. Listening to Biohazard, which is a New York hardcore band. Just chilling out in a cul-de-sac. My friend's girlfriend lived in the cul-de-sac just up from where we were. This cul-de-sac kind of looped like that. So you came in off the main road, and then you went up a little, and then you went in a big loop, and then back out. We were all the way in. There was one street lamp, an older street lamp. It produced this really dull, orangish glow to it. There was 6 skeletal houses being built at different stages along the back wall of this cul-de-sac. And I say wall because that would be the wall of trees, the tree line. We were parked on the inside, which the main road was just beyond these trees. There was trees all around us. We were pretty much trapped in a very bad place. We put ourselves in a dangerous position. Of course, we didn't know these things existed. So we're all hanging out, and I noticed, the first thing I realized was my friend who was driving the car he had gotten in the car and he had stayed in the car. I remember him tinkering with the radio and him not coming back out. But I didn't really think too much of that because my girlfriend was there. We weren't drinking, we weren't smoking weed. We were smoking ciggies and chewing tobacco and, just being kids. We were kids. So, as we're hanging out, we hear these noises, and I can't really describe the noises. It was like a growl with yaps. It almost sounded like, okay, so everyone knows what a coyote pack sounds like. It almost sounded like a coyote pack, but with a lot more bass to the noise. And we heard that, and as we started to see these eye shines, and they were coming down, so we were looking at them. And I'll never forget, one of the girls was like, "What is that?" And the other girl said, "Vampires." Because we're in the 90s. Vampire movies were huge. I think we had just gotten done a day or two prior watching The Lost Boys. And and for those of you who don't know or are too young to watch or to know what the movie is, I suggest watching it. It's one of the greatest vampire movies ever made. My own preference, but I remember seeing the eye shine coming at different heights. Some at like 4 feet, some at 6 to 7, maybe 8 feet. Just a range of heights. And the next thing I realized, the girls are in the car. I'm standing in the front passenger side by the light, front light, and I'm looking in the woods, and I'm just like, what is that? What am I looking at? What is this? What the hell is going on? Well, my friend Martin, in his Arnold Schwarzenegger sounding voice, because he was from Czechoslovakia, Jeff, get in the fucking car. Let's go. He didn't sound like that deep, but kind of. And I'm stuck. I'm stuck in this, like, I'm not brave. It wasn't bravery. It was confusion. Excuse me. When I don't feel good, I yawn a lot, so I apologize. He ends up pulling me into the car, and we get out and we drive. And when we get to the end of the cul-de-sac to get on the main road, we look, we're going to turn towards town, or that way is towards Saratoga. We're heading towards Glens Falls, home. And we all look, and I look, and there's this monster standing at the corner in the woods, just on the outside of the woods. But I'm like, what the hell? And I remember my friend going, a Bigfoot. And I shook my head, and I'm like, that's not a Bigfoot. That's something else. It had a snout, but it wasn't like a wolf snout or a German Shepherd snout. It was shorter. Like, excuse me. I'm so sorry, guys. If I'd have to compare it to, I'd say maybe a Rottweiler or Pit Bull, Akita. It was very short. It wasn't a long snout like Hollywood movies lead us to believe these things have. And it was tall. And it was not this, like, it was just like this hulking, but you could tell that this thing was dangerous just by its stance. And the eye color, the eyes were this bright kind of yellowish orange. I remember when we were looking at these things coming through the woods in the cul-de-sac with the glowing orange light, that these stuck out so much because they were so much brighter. And it was just so weird looking, this thing. It was just it didn't resemble the Hollywood werewolf, but I remember saying to my friend, that's a werewolf or something. And its legs were strange. I don't remember its feet, but I kept thinking, like, how did the thing move? How did it move through the woods so quickly? That's what really stayed with me the most, was how did it move? How did it get from point A to point B? Well, we're in a vehicle. It beat us. We were on a road. This thing was running through thick undergrowth, dense bushes, dense brush, just scrub pine. You got to think, like, when these houses, when this cul-de-sac was being built, they pushed all that crap from, the road into those woods. So it was deep. It was really thick with underbrush and overgrowth, and just wow, just to think about how it moved through there to beat us. So I went to, we had a used bookstore that was like trick magic shop as well, but they had just a ton of like occult and paranormal UFO whatnot books in there. It was a very neat, still in existence actually. The older couple that owned it, probably they're in their 80s. They still are alive and still running this beautiful secondhand bookstore. And so I went there a couple times and I got my first cryptid book. It's still up there. And it said werewolves, and it said Bigfoot, and this and that. And I remember, it said vampire. I mean, that's how old this book was. Like, they were talking about vampires and cryptid books at the time. That got me. I mean, of course, I grew up in the 80s, so my mom had, I remember read the book by Time Life, Mysteries of the Unknown and Leonard Nimoy, and doing those shows. So I remember the Patterson Gimlin film on that show that Leonard Nimoy hosted. And, I knew, it was like I knew these things existed from a very young age. And then I just moved on with my life. I read books, about the occult, about alchemy, about, just stuff that interested me. Paranormal, ghosts, yada yada. Then I got sick. Lost everything. I was in the hospital. I didn't have anything to read anymore. I was out of books. I read everything my parents had brought me. And I started to listen to YouTube. And I'll never forget, there was a creepy pasta, but it was so well done. It was by Corpse Husband, and he talked about the park ranger, and it was like a 3-hour video about the stairs and the woods and this and that. And it is a creepy pasta, and I'm imagining all of that stuff really happens. Because there is stairs in the middle of the woods, but not like this story tells us. And they talked about a lot about the missing people, which is not a creepypasta. It's true. David Paulides introduced the world to the missing 411. So I was like, whoa, I have no life. I can do this. I can really share my experience and talk to people that have had experiences and this and that. And I started the channel, and here we are. And then a year and a half ago, my daughters would pick on me because Dogman. I talk about Dogman, and my oldest daughter was hanging out with her friends one night at a cemetery in our town, which is huge. There's woods. There's acres and acres of woods. There's acres and acres of gravestones. There's 2 ponds, a stream, two streams. Actually, there are 2 streams, different streams that run through it. A brook, actually not a stream. There's a stream and a brook. I don't know the difference, but I'll never forget, her and her boyfriend came, and the night she was done hanging out, she came home and she was like, "You're right. Those things are real, Daddy." And I'm like, what do you mean? What happened? And she told me. And I was like, whoa, really? This here, right? Yeah, just absolute confusion. And then her boyfriend took a couple of weird pictures of a Dogman outside of his home. Probably one of the better pictures I've ever seen. And then these attacks hit, and I started to look into them, and I'm like, whoa, I gotta really. So I've centered my focus around them a lot, and meeting new people. I love meeting subscribers and talking to them and doing interviews, and then the Colorado thing just happened. Meeker. I feel like crap. My eyes are burning. Meeker, Colorado happened, and Carl. And now we're waiting on the samples to come back. And I knew it would be after Christmas. And I talked to my buddy the other night. I called him to see if his power was out, actually. So I was going to go to his house because he's got a finished basement. And I was just going to bring my pets and my daughter there. And his power was out, and he was going to a hotel too. Actually, the same one we were going to, which is right in our town, so it's perfect. It's been a hotel in our town for 120 years. We talked, and he's pretty sure that we'll get the answers about the samples. He said by Wednesday the latest. He's thinking Tuesday. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Monday. But yeah, we'll find out very soon what these samples are. Carl from Meeker insists that him and his friend were in state game land, or whatever you want to call it, in between 15 and 30. There's like a V. And they found this. His friend heard kind of what was described as a gunfight, automatic weapons. And the next day, because Carl had been looking into this, and Carl had seen a kill team a year prior, and they found this flesh, fur, and sent it to me. And Carl and I really sat down together and talked about how to get it here without any interception and this and that. And there was a couple of different things that we used. There's an app that actually deletes a sentence in like 30 seconds after you read it, or 20 seconds after you read it, and I guess it's hidden from the internet. I don't really know, a stenographer or something like that. I'll look it up in a minute after I'm done talking and tell you exactly what it is, because I have an email that someone sent me talking about this, and that's what made me think about how to use it. So we're going to get the information that you guys and I want this week. We're coming up on a new year. Last year I changed a lot about the channel. I changed the name. I changed the format of the channel. I changed a lot. And we grew, and I'm thankful. But I want to set the bar a little higher now. I'm going to do some more paranormal investigations. I went to the Conjuring house, and I really was surprised that not a lot of people watched that. I think that if you're into cryptids, you'd be into all paranormal, but apparently not. But that's not on me. Each to their own. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing a lot more hands-on, going up looking for different objects that Tom Mezek may have dropped. One person I read in the comment when I was talking about him, and my eyes are killing me. I'm so sorry, guys. Sorry, I had to hit pause and put some eye drops in. One comment was that person said he's gone. He's nothing but bone. You'll never find any of him, And I was like, bro, I'm looking for things that he may have dropped, like his checkered hat, his gun, his walkie, his boot, something. All of this stuff is just gone. I'm gonna the state trooper who shared some of that information with me, we're gonna go up there this spring when everything's thawed out and kind of dried out a little bit, where he's gonna bring me to where he saw that whatever creature that was on all fours running, that was so strange and large, through the woods up a side of a mountain. And that was in the 5 square mile radius, or not radius, but 5 square miles. It's 5 square acres, no miles. 5 square miles where they cordoned off and searched for Tom Mezek. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a poll, I think, in the community section in the next couple of days and put a couple of things out that I can do that you guys will want and like, and help all of us learn more. And that way the channel grows more in a way that we all kind of want. So look for that in the near future. But yeah, so that's why I'm into the paranormal and I'm into cryptids. That's just the cryptid part. There's more paranormal. I'm not going to get into right now because I need some tea and I need to lie down for a little bit. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. The new subs, the old subs. I love y'all. You guys are awesome. I hope everyone's having a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays with their loved ones. And I know some people are unfortunate and don't have loved ones. And, well, you do here. You do on this channel. We're all your family. We're the Dogman fam. And I love you all. So, and I feel blessed to have all of you in my life. So I want to thank you all. And with that, please, everyone, stay safe. May the Great Spirit, the Lord Jesus, whoever you worship and acknowledge as your God, may they all look down upon us. Whoever, I believe in one entity. I didn't mean to say all, but whoever you believe in, whether it be the Great Spirit, Jesus Christ, God, whatever, may they watch out for us all and guide us down that path that we call life. And with this new year coming, I pray that, I'm going to pray that we get some breaks in this cryptid field, some breaks of new answers, instead of when an answer is given to us, it doesn't leave us with 10 other questions. So with that, stay safe. Merry Christmas.